Hey everybody, it's ZM and welcome to something I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and that is a Breath of the Wild challenge series. In this series I'll be let's playing through Breath of the Wild, but I won't be able to use any items found unless they're obtained through Amiibo. That means all weapons, all armor, all food, and anything else in between cannot be picked up unless I get them from Amiibo. So with that intro out of the way, let's get started with one of the greatest video game openings of all time, that being Breath of the Wild's Great Plateau. As no matter how many times I play this never gets old, which to me says a lot about a game's tutorial slash opening to a game, because with most games I play, they usually have a really long, annoying opening from the, opening cutscene, filling you in on all the game's lore, what's going on, the setting, or just having to deal with so many tutorials that really slow down the game's pace early on as it slowly then picks up. But in Breath of the Wild, you kind of just play through the Great Plateau, and then boom, you can do whatever you want. And even the Great Plateau itself is still always so fun, as you're able to do a lot of things differently each time around, and altogether, I mean, it's just a really fun set of things to do. It's 4 simple shrines that get you familiar with the 4 runes that you're going to use throughout the entire game, and to me it's just perfect. It's the perfect tutorial for new players, but also the perfect tutorial for people who have played the game many times and are coming back to play the game, because as mentioned, it doesn't get old whatsoever. I freaking love this opening so much, and my jaw always drops when I see Link see Hyrule for the first time, seeing how beautiful this game is. Truly a masterpiece, and I'm glad I could play it with you guys once more, this time with a twist to it, as we're only going to be using Amiibo weapons, armor, food, items all together, and this should make it difficult, at least early on, and until I can even use Amiibo, as I don't have the Amiibo rune yet. I believe you have to at least unlock one of the game's runes to be able to use the Amiibo runes. So we're gonna have to rush straight to the very first shrine, get that, and then we can actually really start the challenge. But on the way, we gotta make sure not to mess with any enemy whatsoever and not pick up anything. But okay, here we go. Yes, this is what makes the intro so great, so timeless, so beautiful. As you can see, all of Hyrule, the world that you're gonna take on, and you start out on a really good, part of it being the Great Plateau. It has a lot to do. It's just so well done, like truly the best video game opening ever. I love how there is no cutscenes, nothing. Link just wakes up and boom, you're straight in the adventure. This is how games should be, as it makes replaying the game so delightful in comparison to games with really heavy story early on. Even Zelda games have had that issue. Cough cough, Skyward Sword. Cough cough, yeah, Skyward Sword has a really slow opening. Though if you do skip all the cutscenes, it can go fairly quickly, actually. But still, I'd rather have gameplay be the opening. So let's get started by just heading straight to the tower, as Zelda is going to tell us to do so in a bit. I am going to ignore the old man, of course, because I don't want anything from him, and I don't want to pick up any of these weapons, food. It doesn't matter what I come across. Though, one thing I do need to make sure to actually stock up on from the beginning is Korok seeds, as since this is an Amiibo challenge, I need as many weapon slots as I can get as soon as possible so I can actually store those weapons, as I'm going to be unable to pick up any throughout my adventure, and that can get a bit annoying and scary as well, because I could end up not having any weapons when in a situation and then have to use an Amiibo or something. So we're going to see how that works. Let's just head straight to our destination, ignore all enemies. I feel like most players who play the game, replay through the Great Plateau, kind of still go this route. You don't need to actually explore or mess with anything, as yeah, it's really straightforward on what you need to do. And okay, there we go. Zelda's now going to tell us what we need to do and mark it on our map. But I always like to play the game in pro mode. I don't see a point in playing the game in normal mode, because it just adds an annoying HUD, and to me, I want to be able to enjoy the game in its fullest. I hope this is a thing throughout all Zelda games moving forward, where they make the screen have literally nothing on it but, I guess you could say, your hearts. as it's really easy to ignore, and plus you need it as it is your HP, so it's not a bad thing to have at all times. But there are games that have it go away, and then when you get hit, it like comes back. I think that'd be cool as well. We'll see how Breath of the Wild does things, the sequel that is, as I'm really hoping the sequel fixes on a lot of things. As much as I praise this game, there are a couple things that I find really annoying. For good example, having to start this new playthrough, I had to completely make a new Nintendo Switch profile, which I'm not gonna lie, gets annoying because you can only have so many on your Nintendo Switch account, and it's hard to keep track of each file. Like, Nintendo really needs to give us the ability to make more than one file in Breath of the Wild with a single Nintendo Switch profile, because yeah, I want to do different playthroughs. I understand that the game is so grand and maybe Nintendo thinks that every single profile only needs one playthrough, and at least you have different files between the normal mode and master mode, but to me that's not enough. You know, there are so many times I want to do like a 3-heart challenge, just a random challenge, especially with how much replay value is in this game especially. I feel like files would be really, really nice, but with how most Switch games utilize only one file, it being the Switch's profile, my hopes aren't too high for Breath of the Wild 2 changing it up and bringing back the old Zelda style, but we'll see. I gotta see this opening though, or this little cutscene. I'm not gonna skip any of the cutscenes. Maybe the old man, we'll see. But even though, you know, I don't mind, you know, or I'd rather not have really long intros or deal with lore or anything, I feel like these little cutscenes are just really nice to enjoy. I never get tired of them either. It's just so nice to see, and they're not that long to begin with. Like, it's just kind of seeing Hyrule and seeing all the towers slowly rise up. It gets me excited for what's to come, as there's so much to explore within this game. Though, I wonder how I want to tackle it now, as I'm not going to be able to pick up any of the items that are throughout Hyrule, and I can only get what's through Amiibo. Luckily, I do have every single Zelda Amiibo, so that's pretty much all the cool stuff you can get within Breath of the Wild via Amiibo, as every other non-Zelda Amiibo gives Link just food. Well, I do have a lot of normal Amiibo as well, only want to use the Zelda ones because, yeah, I want the weapons, I want the armor, I want as much useful things as I can get. Though I'm going to try to only limit each Amiibo one time per use, as you can switch in the actual Switch's internal time. You can switch it to a new day and it will trick the game and let you use in the same Amiibo once more within the same time frame. But I don't want to cheat whatsoever. I pretty much want to keep this as simple as possible, so if I can't use an Amiibo more than 24 hours, the same one, I'll wait. And that way each episode of this series, I've only been able to use each Zelda Amiibo once, so it will kind of limit me when it comes to what items I get, and if I get something crappy, I have to deal with it. I think that'd be pretty fun, at least early on, and unless somehow later on it becomes unplayable and I really need to farm more Amiibo, we'll see. But the goal is to use it the way the Switch is intended to use it, which is not spamming the same Amiibo 100 times within the same day. It is nice if you're looking to get a useful item and you don't want to save and quit constantly, and also stock up on other items you don't need, but I'm not gonna bother. Though, yeah, I love how the game just starts out having to fall off the tower, slowly get down. Sadly, we do have a little tutorial section here, but nothing too crazy, and it can easily be avoided, as you don't actually have to speak to the old man throughout the whole thing, so I'm just going to kind of avoid what he has to say. But I can't deny that the scenery is so nice, and it's nice that the Great Plateau is stuck during the day until this part of the game. After here, I believe the day-night cycle should actually start, which is pretty cool. So that way, no matter what this cutscene, it will be at the same time of day. But it would also be nice if you could have had it a bit more dynamic, I guess. Either way, I just love the color of this game and how everything looks. But let's just continue to ignore him. I don't care what you have to say, man. Cool. I can't get off the Great Plateau. I like how you actually can if you manage to climb your way down efficiently, but the game literally will consider it out of bounds and deny you. But okay, I like how both responses for Link are somewhat aggressive. It's so funny how Link can sound so bratty and annoying throughout the dialogue, though I never really picture Link actually saying it. I usually picture myself, like the player. I feel like when Nintendo wrote it, they didn't really write it as in Link is the one saying it, right? I don't know, because I just feel like Link would be too noble to say the stuff he says, as the game, especially in this Zelda game, gives you so much weird dialogue to respond to characters with that just feels like it would have never came out of Link's mouth. Obviously, we don't know how Link words himself exactly and his mannerisms, because we never actually see him talk, but still, I never picture it being Link. I picture it being the player in some sense. Overall, I really like how Link is an established character, and within this game, they actually removed the ability to rename him altogether, kind of making him like Mario. You know, Mario's always Mario. Link will always be Link, even though there are so many different iterations of him. I like how they're staying consistent. Though still, let us, you know, have more than one file, and if we have to just rename the file name itself, that would make sense, but, you know, no matter what Link stays named Link, that still makes sense. Just give us the option to have more files, please, Nintendo. I would love that. Or something, because again, if you have Nintendo Switch Online, you can't even transfer those files to other Switches and make it convenient on you. You have to play that Breath of the Wild file you started, you know, on that same Switch, or transfer it manually. So it can get pretty annoying. But okay, we made it to our first shrine. Not bad. Let's get started and see how this goes. So obviously I'll be able to use my weapons the second I pick up this rune, but I'm gonna finish the shrine quickly, so that way we can immediately use all of our amiibo once we leave the shrine. But also means I'm gonna have to deal with an enemy without any weapons or any way of defending myself. We'll see how it goes. Luckily I am picking up the magnesis, so I can manipulate other items, and that won't be a part of the challenge. I can use my runes. My runes do count in terms of like the amiibo challenge. Like, even though I'm only going to use other stuff that I get through amiibo, I'll still use my runes the way they're intended to be, because this is my main puzzle solving set of items. And I love how they did replace the whole, you know, arsenal of weapons with just one set of items that you get complete within the tutorial. That way the whole game truly opens up and allows you to do whatever you want just from the 4 runes you get within the tutorial. I think that's such a unique way to do things, but I can't deny that I do miss the classic Zelda items still. Like, I want a hook shot or something. You know, even if you can't solve puzzles with them and you still have to use runes, and since most likely in the next game it will be runes that are based off of your hand. But regardless, if you have to use runes, please summon lands. Haha! Yes, there we go. I didn't have to fight him. Not bad. But yeah, that's what I meant by using a rune and having it actually be of use without needing any items. And it worked out perfectly. We killed the enemy, and now we're able to continue on. But yeah, still, I want classic Zelda items along with it. I really like this whole concept of runes. I think it's really fun, and it adds a new way of solving things, as there's no item in Zelda that let you do stuff like this with the magnesis. So Nintendo can totally somehow mix the two and make it work, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how Breath of the Wild sequel ends up being. As of recording this, we still don't know much outside of 2 teaser trailers, but I can't wait until that day is no longer and we know a little bit more, from at least the name to what to expect within the actual game. But alright, first shrine down. Now things will open up. Now things won't seem too much different from any normal playthrough, as I'm gonna have way more items than probably I would have had if I was looking for items on the Great Plateau, which is pretty nice to think about, because yeah, all the Zelda amiibo, as I have them all right next to me, will set me up big time. While there are some weapons that you actually can't get unless you complete a Divine Beast or a certain amount of Divine Beasts, you still get all the armor available and a good amount of weapons that you wouldn't normally find on the Great Plateau. So I feel like this challenge is just going to be easy, especially early on, and then slowly pick up in difficulty depending on how my, you know, weapon management goes and how often I break stuff. Because I can't even use the Master Sword throughout this playthrough, as, yeah, I'm going to make sure to only use amiibo. I'm really curious on how the food will work. Well, Again, I can use non-Nintendo amiibo to just kind of stock up on other stuff. I'm not entirely sure if that's the way to go. I hope I get enough food from just the Zelda amiibo as is. So now that we do have the rune available and I'm gonna apply it so I can use the amiibo, we're gonna go ahead and quickly skip what the old man has to say here and continue being rude. Paraglider, please. What else does Link have to say? Paraglider, please. You just keep saying that, man. It's like a broken record. I'm not going to tell you anything else. I just want the paraglider, please. Another thing that makes the tutorial so nice is the fact that you can't use the paraglider until you leave the tutorial. So you learn how to play the game, you know, not the way it's intended, and that is all by foot. But then you get the thing that opens up the game so much more. And it feels right, because I'll be honest, I feel like the Great Plateau would go by much faster if I had the use of the paraglider. So okay, he wants me to head up the tower, but I'm not. Well, there is an EX chest that looks very tempting to pick up. I'm not going to pick up that either. I'm just going to go ahead and start using my amiibo. So it's amiibo time, which pretty much means I'm going to go through every single Zelda amiibo. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I'm done with that, because I'm pretty sure that won't be too fun to watch me do. So I'll show you my amiibo haul once I'm done using all the amiibo. And speaking of which, I can't even use them because I didn't enable them. There we go. The amiibo functionality is of use, and let's get started. So here we go. Amiibo! And now for the last amiibo to be used, and that is Wolf Link. Yeah! You know, I had him laying around with all my other Zelda amiibos, so I thought I'd use him as well. Because, I mean, we can literally summon Wolf Link along our side. But let's look at the haul of actual items I got, because, yeah, I can't actually use Wolf Link as an item, but I can at least have him around me until he goes away, whether he loses his HP or is with me long enough. I don't actually know how it works, as I don't use him often, so this is the perfect chance to use him, as this is an amiibo playthrough. So let's take this. Let's actually look at our items. So as you can see, I am loaded on food. So much food has dropped. I only got one pair of clothing altogether, that being the Trousers of the Sky. So Skyward Sword Link's green tunic pants. That's all I have to wear so far. I got 2 shields with some durability up. Not bad. Got 2 bows and a bunch of arrows. A good amount of electric arrows, which is not bad. And not many weapons at all. But I think we'll be good to complete the Great Plateau with this set of items. The only thing I'm worried about is the food. And that is hopefully going to be, you know, not an issue when it comes to making my way to the colder section of the Great Plateau, it being the snowy area, because we will need something to, you know, warm us up. And since I don't have the outfit to do so, and I won't be able to obtain any outfit that will give me that ability, I have to rely on food, and only the food that drops from the amiibo. So we'll see how that goes. It's really nice to kind of just run around, especially during the hour of twilight with Wolf Link, as, you know, this is the time of, you know, the twilight. If you played Twilight Princess, you know what I'm talking about. Just dusk, you could say. But, oh, okay, he's going for an enemy. Hopefully not pick up any weapons or anything for me. I don't think he can, like, fetch items. Wow, dude, he is brutal. What the heck? You, like, send them flying so easily. That was disgusting. Wolf Link is so freaking cool. It's so weird because it makes no sense in the story and how it would fit, you know, canonically, but still, it's really nice that we can get Wolf Link. And let's be honest, Twilight Princess turning Link into a wolf was the most bizarre idea for a Zelda game. It was around, I feel like, when Twilight was really popular, and like Sonic Unleashed, and like so many werewolf things were a thing during my teenage years. It felt like it was all, you know, meant for like a certain demographic, and it's funny because I was around that age. But while I liked it in Twilight Princess, I didn't really like it in anything else. But still, it's just always weird to think about that Twilight Princess is that game where Link literally turns into a werewolf, and or at least just a wolf. Still, in concept, is very weird. But it holds up pretty nicely. But okay, sadly, I'm gonna have to leave Wolf Link. I don't know what's gonna happen to him. Is he gonna wait for me outside? Because I know he can't obviously enter a shrine with me, but what's he gonna do now? I have no clue. Either way, let's just brace through these. I don't really think there is anything to worry about in terms of enemies, but at least we have a weapon. Again, the only thing I'm worrying about is the food, but I've had to pick up something that has given me, you know, cold resistance. We'll see in a bit, but let's just get started with this shrine. This one being the bomb trial. Really cool concept. This is a rune that had to be within the game. The only rune within this game that is familiar to the entire Zelda series, as bombs from, you know, Zelda 1 has been about bombing walls. When I see a bombable wall in any video game, the first thing that comes to mind is Zelda. Zelda, I feel like, established that as a video game puzzle. It's a very basic one, and it's in so many other games that aren't just Zelda, but I can't help but think of it. That and like lighting a torch are like the two Zelda cliche puzzles I think of. When I see them in a video game, I can't help but not think of Zelda in it, you know, kind of having a similar puzzle concept to it. Even though they're always really easy, still, I can't help but think of it. So here is the classic Zelda puzzle of blowing up walls. I absolutely love it. It's so satisfying. But yeah, it's so weird how all the other runes are so much different. The magnesis is so unique, how you can control metal from, you know, metal on enemies' weapons to just overall. Let's see if I can do this. Roll and then bam. Nice. Okay. But yeah. And then obviously Stasis, which I'm really excited to see it upgraded within Breath of the Wild sequel, as we do seem to have a completely new concept for the Stasis, with us being able to like reverse time. I don't know. We'll see when the game comes out. I feel like I shouldn't talk too much about it, as I might be off when the game actually comes out, and I don't want to, you know, have this video feel outdated because I'm sitting here speculating about Breath of the Wild sequel. But I cannot wait for that day to come, and I cannot wait to let's play it and treat it like this game. One thing I am hoping for, and I guess I will mention, is I do hope it has the replay value this game holds. One thing a lot of sequels are known for are just not holding up to the same promise the original game held, but I feel like Nintendo are the only people that can change that. I mean, there are some other games that the sequel's better than the prequel, you know, the original, but it's very rare. Though with Nintendo, they've been pretty good at it. From like Super Mario Galaxy 2, in my eyes, was a way better version of Super Mario Galaxy. Though I did like the HUD in Galaxy more. But a better example would be Majora's Mask to Ocarina of Time, because it's a Zelda game, of course. And so both of those games ran on the same engine, same console. Breath of the Wild 2 is kind of the same thing with Breath of the Wild 1. Same engine, same console, same concept, same everything. It's a direct sequel, so why wouldn't it? And when Majora's Mask did that, in my eyes, it did it perfectly to where I actually prefer Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time. I know some people may argue against that, but that's my opinion. Majora's Mask is superior than Ocarina of Time because it has such cool mechanics to it. But, in a big but, Majora's Mask wouldn't be anything without Ocarina of Time, as it would be a completely mysterious game without knowing the origins of Ocarina of Time, and it having its engine, its characters, its everything to base itself off of. So while I do think Majora's Mask is so much better than Ocarina of Time, it needs Ocarina of Time, and you need to have played it to appreciate Majora's Mask as much as I do. And I really hope Breath of the Wild sequel has the exact same concept, where it's like, you gotta play Breath of the Wild to see Hyrule when it's completely barren and enjoy the game for what it's worth. But if you play the sequel, you will get a much richer experience on all of this. And yeah, hopefully it will only be better. But okay, this is the pathway I always take. I know a lot of people, and how I feel like the game intends for the player to take is actually heading up the snowy pathway, which is up here behind the Temple of Time. It will lead you to that whole snowy area where you have to cross a river, but I feel like that is so annoying to deal with that I'd much rather deal with having to climb this little cliff here. For new players, I feel like obviously maybe dealing with the water and taking the more traditional pathway might be easier, but I feel like truly this is easier for any type of player if you just get used to climbing. So okay, luckily we are in big luck when it comes to cold resistance because we got some peppers, which is the perfect food for warming up Link. And we don't need it to be that efficient. We just need it to warm us up a little bit. And we also have this, not bad. Let's also throw some apples just so it heals us. So we're going to be safe. I'll make any other useful food I could use, but this is all I need. I think I'll be fine. I don't need more than 6 minutes to take on the snowy part of the Great Plateau. At least I believe I don't. So let's just make a couple steaks. Since I don't have much HP at the moment, we're gonna go ahead and just cook them as is, because one steak, yep, as you can see, should heal me up well enough to give me 2 hearts, which is normally when I'd want to eat it at this HP. You know, 1 heart left is when I can use to replenish my HP. So I got to be real careful with how I use my food, and just generally be, you know, stingy, you could say, to make sure it, you know, can be used for anything, because I can't pick up anything else. And the goal is not to be able to pick up anything else throughout the rest of this day. So we'll see how that goes. But okay, something I realized. Okay, luckily I do have, I didn't mean to whistle, and I just realized Wolf Link is gone. So I could only use him up until a shrine. And I don't even believe I'll be able to use him again. See, I barely use Wolf Link, which I feel bad for. But let me see if I can summon him again. You can't, right? It's once per day. Oh no! Okay, it's as many times as you want, as long as he doesn't die, maybe? I don't know. We'll figure out, since this is an Amiibo playthrough, so I have to use him a bit more than normal. But okay, this is what I was worried about. If I didn't have a blade that could easily chop... Are you kidding me? No! Chop this properly, then I'm gonna be in trouble. Okay, let's try. Come on. Okay. Well, it hit Wolf Link, but still, that was fine. That worked out. This is such a scary concept, like having to run past here. Because if you fall, technically you could land it, but if you don't complete the Great Plateau, it's like falling out of bounds, and it will technically kill you. And okay, Wolf Link is teleporting. Hopefully not for good. Hopefully just, you know, next to me. And I think that's what he did. He couldn't cross that little area, so that's pretty nice. I just gotta remember every time I leave a shrine to reuse the amiibo, because, you know, I gotta show some love to Wolf Link. I feel like, you know, throughout every playthrough I've done throughout this game, I literally never think of it. So this will be the playthrough where we put him to use, it being the amiibo run. And hopefully I remember to edit that in to make it really annoying every time I say amiibo. I'll have like Nintendo's version of the Amiibo trailers kind of play. But okay, we gotta be real safe. Can't grab that as much as I want to, and it feels necessary. If I do, like, subconsciously, you know, don't think I ruined the playthrough. Just let me know in the comments. I'm gonna make it my best not to accidentally grab something, and if that does happen, I'll just drop it, so it won't ruin the entire playthrough. But I have to make sure to remember, because yeah, it's so easy to just accidentally press A while you're passing by something and pick it up, because the game makes it so easy to pick up items. I actually really like that. Well, I do miss Link's, you know, iconic show the camera, you know, your item and dun, 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 type thing. I don't mind Link just kicking open a chest and picking up the item like nothing. Like, I think that's pretty cool as well. Okay, this is very risky, but whoa, the way Link's feet looked, like his leg placement was so weird for a second. But okay, we should be good. We should be able to climb this with ease. I still want to just be careful, because if I fall, I'm probably dead. I don't have a glider to save me. And there we go. Wolf Link did appear. So this is going to be funny just to see how he follows me throughout the game. But okay. After the shrine, we'll just have the cold one, which will be really straightforward if you take it on from here. I really like I said, this pathway, because it avoids the majority of the cold, and in my eyes, the longer pathway, which I feel like Nintendo intended players to take, is actually harder in my eyes, because it's just annoying to have to deal with the river and the cold water, especially without the rune you're going for, which is in the colder area, that being the Cryonis rune, because I don't want to deal with water without that, especially freezing water that kills you as you interact with it. But Stasis is just overall really, really nice once upgraded. I feel like this is an ability you don't really use at all on enemies because you can't until you upgrade it. But then it becomes the best rune in my eyes once you do upgrade it. Because it goes from, you know, you can't do anything against enemies to literally freezing them in place for like almost 5 seconds, if not more. And to me, that's extremely OP. Well, I guess it depends on the enemy type. Like if it's a stronger enemy, it can't be held in stasis for as long. Regardless, I love the concept behind this. A completely new concept in Zelda that, in my eyes, evolves puzzle solving, and in my eyes as well is a must for Breath of the Wild 2, and Nintendo confirmed it with a Breath of the Wild 2 trailer showing Link use it with his hands. But in general, I just feel like, yeah, this is one of my favorite puzzle solving methods within the game, especially since you can stop items from falling onto you and you know, just completely change its position, like I'm gonna have to do right now, actually. So here we go. I should have actually, you know, used my stasis to let the ball resume, so I don't have to wait for it to completely replenish. But oh well. I'm actually a little worried because that. Okay, wait, it's fine. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hopefully that's enough. Whereas I can't use weapons that I find, like the sledgehammer is literally there so you can use it on the boulder. But since I can't pick it up, I need to find other methods. So wow, already this might get annoying if I don't have more weapons on me. So I'm really hoping next time I use the amiibo, which will be in the next episode's amiibo time. I'll start every episode with it. Yeah, hopefully I'll have the items necessary to actually not worry about, you know, not having many weapons on me, because that's gonna suck, especially after the Great Plateau. Luckily, the Great Plateau, you don't really have to face a single enemy. Like, even the first one I killed wasn't that necessary because you can avoid the Guardian altogether, and I believe the next shrine we're heading to, I can avoid it as well, but since I do have something to fight it with, I will. Regardless, let's pick up this orb and move on. I wonder, though, which pathway I'm going to take in terms of stamina or hearts first, since normally I would do hearts just for the Master Sword as soon as possible. I always like stamina more because who doesn't? You know, it's a game all about climbing. Why wouldn't you? But let's see when the time comes. Let me just get to it. So, okay, avoiding these enemies. It's like super bright outside. Shouldn't you be dead? Let me take out... Oh, yeah, I totally forgot when you take out your map the first, like, 2 times. You actually see Link pull it out with his hands, which is pretty cool. Sadly, that disappears from the game. But, okay, it's not necessarily 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning, but the sun is out there. You'd think these guys would be asleep. And, okay, I actually want to go this way. Okay, don't throw a rock at me. Don't you even dare. Oh, can they reach? Oh, they can. Crap. Okay, okay. Let's hit B. Replenish our stamina. Head up. There we go. And now we can eat something that should cool us up. Oh, I just realized if we get a fire weapon, we'd be set as well. But okay, wait, let me go to my cooked food. I just realized I was on the wrong inventory page. But okay, now I'm set. And now, avoid all enemies until we make it to the next shrine, which should be really easy. I do believe we have to deal with Mount Hylia, which we can get the Worm Doublet, and that makes this place really easy to deal with if you don't want to be timed like I am with the food, but I can't, you know, amiibo playthrough. Too bad literally not a single amiibo item we're gonna get. Actually, no! I just realized there is an amiibo item that we can get that will let us deal with weather conditions, at least the cold, and that is with the Rivali amiibo. We should be able to get the Divine Beast helm, and that one in particular will give us resistance to cold. So never mind. Too bad you can't unlock that helmet until you actually complete the Divine Beast. At least I think so. I'm pretty sure, like, when it comes to the really cool, unique weapons that you get from past Zelda games, you can't get it unless you complete certain Divine Beasts, and then along with the Divine Beast helms. But all the other items, like the whole armor sets for every other previous Link, you can easily get. Please, Link Land! Oh my god! Why'd I do that? Why'd I think that would have been fine? I'm like, oh, but if you start sliding immediately, you'll be okay. But, nah, it pretty much almost killed me. Do I stay risky and don't bother healing? No, okay. Not gonna bother with that, right? We'll be fine. Wait, whoa, okay. Wait, is there enemies coming at me? Holy crap, imagine dying. I don't know why I don't want to use an item. I want to risk it. Because why not? Let's just see if we can complete the shrine. And plus, once you beat the shrine, you no longer have to worry about healing. Because the spirit orb itself will heal Link all the way back up. The only thing I need to worry about is the Guardian. But I'm willing to risk it and see how this goes. So let's go ahead and take on the final shrine of the Great Plateau. Here we go. Hell yeah. We're already done with the tutorial, and again, I had so much fun with it. Alright, I'm a little worried, but at the same time, I'm mainly worried about making the mistake rather than the enemy there is to deal at hand. The enemy should be really easy and straightforward, but sometimes I don't trust myself with not being clumsy. You know, even for just 1 second, I'm dead because I have not enough HP. But we'll see. But okay, this rune I would say is my least favorite out of the 4 runes because you can only use it above water. It's very gimmicky. It's obviously known for, you know what you need to use it for. It would have been cool when upgrading it to like actually fully freeze enemies or to do something else with it. But instead, it just kind of increases its recharge slash, you know. I actually don't even know what happens when you upgrade it. Can you even upgrade it? And now I'm curious. Regardless, it's just a rune that you don't really use outside of when you have to. It being like making ice platforms like this. But I do like how it sort of replaces ice arrows. That being the ice arrows from Majora's Mask, because in Ocarina of Time the ice arrows were completely useless. But okay, here we go. Be careful. No. Okay. What weapon do I have? I don't even have a weapon, so we have to be careful. I'm gonna wait for it to break this. Okay. And then, boom. Okay. We're fine. That weapon easily disposed of him. Okay, I can't pick up, though, any other items. Not even the material used to upgrade, so even though it's always very, very, tempting to do, especially when it comes to Guardian parts, because they're very, very useful as you can build so much ancient gear with it. But sadly, I gotta avoid it. So, okay, not bad. I'm glad I saved all the food I had, so I can just heal up right here. But there we go. Now we have done it. I feel like it didn't take us nearly as long as I, planned. Normally, I want to say for a casual player, this should at least take you 1 hour to do so. But if you're in a rush, it should be no more than 30 minutes. I wasn't necessarily in a rush, especially since I had to use so many amiibo to really slow me down. But, yeah, it's always just nice, short, sweet, to the point. And now, right after here, your mind can go anywhere. Like, I don't even know where to go to next, starting my actual playthrough of this game. But nonetheless, I'm excited. I'm going to make sure to avoid Impa in any story, though. That's for sure. I don't need anything like that. Plus, I usually head straight to Impa so I can get my champion tunic. But since, we can't even pick up that, we got to avoid it. Though that is definitely the best outfit within the game. And luckily it does the most, it gives you the most armor as well. And lets you see enemies' HP, which is pretty nice. Like the actual amount. So you can be real accurate with it. But yeah, too bad we can't. We're just gonna have to rely on other outfits. Luckily we can get the entire wardrobe of all previous Links through Amiibo. It's actually insane how amazing the Amiibo drops are and how you can't get them outside of them. Nintendo really committed to these little toys that they made that I thought were so meaningless when they first came out. It was just a collectible, but sadly, in a game like Breath of the Wild, they're super, super important. So okay, let's just head back to the Great Plateau and make the journey real simple. Just kind of run straight to the Temple of Time. It may be faster to head to the Bomb Trial Shrine, but it's no biggie. Regardless, teleporting to either of these areas is faster than having to deal with heading from the shrine we were just at, because I don't want to cross the river, and I don't want to deal with heading back down the cliff I climbed. So let's just not do that. But okay. This game is just so freaking peaceful. One thing I do miss, and I'm not complaining about this game. I love how this game doesn't have music for the most part, and how it's mainly sometimes piano pieces playing, but most of the time it's hearing the wild, like the birds, whatever else is chirping, the bugs, the animals, everything. It's really nice and calm. It fits this game so well, but I can't deny that I miss the really grand and in-your-face music that would play in certain areas in Zelda games, and sadly that does not happen unless you're in a battle. But again, I hate to do a really obvious comparison that I'm sure I'm going to be made fun of, but it's kind of like Dark Souls, you know. I'm not in difficulty. I'm not going to be like every gaming journalist to say that, you know, just because Breath of the Wild, you die in it, you see the game over screen, that it's Dark Souls. But I do want to say that what made Dark Souls so, like, one thing that was so special about Dark Souls was how there was like no music that would play throughout most of the game, and then you'd enter a boss battle, and then it would be this crazy emotional music, this whole roller coaster that would play so loud, and it would be so much louder than you imagined, just kind of in your face, but it would make those moments so special. I feel like we sort of get that with this game, though. Instead of getting that real emotional music, I mean, we do get emotional, but more so in fear. Like if you hear, you know, from no music playing to all of a sudden the Guardian music building up, it's complete fear. But you know, you mainly only hear it in battles, so sadly there is no crazy emotion. But here, where we're at right now, and I'm trying to think, let's do a piece of heart to play it. No. Let's do stamina, right? Am I going to be interrupted because I didn't pick up my thing? Yes. Okay. No matter what, the old man annoys you after you deal with the goddess statue, even if you don't get anything. But yeah, just in case you didn't know where he is, because you have to find where all the shrines intersect, which is technically here. You know, he lets you know exactly where to go. But we're going to do stamina. Let me know how you want me to do this build, because again, I love how Breath of the Wild gives you the option to choose from your pathway in terms of solving things to how you want to build Link up when it comes to stamina or hearts. So I definitely would love to know what you guys want, because, you know, it is a Let's Play, and I feel like your input does matter. So for those who are watching this as it's released, please let me know in the comments, and overall what you want me to do throughout this playthrough. But in general, I'm just really excited to kind of have fun with the challenge, even though we'll see if this gets any more challenging or if it just gets easier the more I stock up on Amiibo gear. We'll see. But okay, let's witness the final tutorial cutscene, the final area when it comes to, you know, before you're completely given freedom throughout the entire game. As the King of Hyrule now gives us the whole introduction that most RPGs would have forced us to hear at the very beginning of the game. You know, setting up Calamity Ganon and everything that happened. I'm glad you have to hear it at the end of the tutorial, and you can skip it entirely if I decide to do so, which I will skip the actual flashback, but might as well see this cutscene here. I always find this really cool, seeing Rome floating like that. I mean, I knew immediately it was the King of Hyrule when I first saw the game. It was so obvious. His style, the way he looks like, you know, Zelda's King of Hyrule. The way they constantly reuse characters. While Impa is really old in this game, Impa used to be somewhat old in older Zelda games, but then was young in new ones. So Impa had a lot of different character designs, but the King of Hyrule was always big, you know, fat-looking king. You know, it's a very stereotypical type of king. You see in a lot of JRPGs when they try to make that European-like looking king of sorts, but you know, it fits in this game, and I do like his name. But okay, so this memory is great and all, but we're gonna go ahead and just skip it. I really like how he tells the whole story of the champions, how they fell, how Zelda is waiting on Link all by herself, you know, his dear Zelda, as he just said. But I don't care. We just skipped it, so I'm glad we can skip it, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind if they didn't let you, as long as, again, it's only in this part of the game and it lets me avoid everything else, which you literally can, because he's gonna straight up tell us to go to Impa, and while Impa gives you even more exposition and lore and backstory on everything, you can go throughout the entire game, I want to say, without ever hearing her mention that to you, if you just never head over to her in Kakariko Village. I wonder if you can do Divine Beast without interacting with her. We're gonna figure out, because I'm gonna ignore her now, but I never actually did that in any of my playthroughs because I always wanted the champion tunic. So since this is the one playthrough I can't get it in, we'll see how it goes. But whoa, Link looks pretty buff here. I feel like I never do it with him shirtless, but I do like how the cutscenes do reflect on the current outfit you're wearing. That's something I really like, because it does make every playthrough feel super unique and feel like your own, you know, build of Link. Though, yeah, I have to say he looked pretty buff just there. It's obviously the cell shading, the way the shades look, but yeah. And one amazing thing about the cell shading is it's gonna make this game timeless. This game, Link, will always look pretty good. Like, you know, it reminds me almost of a Studio Ghibli anime. I know everybody says that, but it kind of does. It's like the perfect balance of that. And to me, cel-shaded graphics is amazing because it does make games timeless. If they did go for a realistic look, kind of like they did with Twilight Princess, the game gets outdated really quickly. But when you look at Wind Waker, it looks like a game that could have came out this year even, because of its cel shading. So yeah, cel shading does wonders. Just look at how good everything looks, and trust me, 10 years, 20 years down the road, it will still continue looking this good, even when, you know, there are much better looking games in the future. I'm sure this will still hold up and never age. So quote me on that. I can assure you, because I mean, look at Wind Waker. It's like 20 years old and it still looks better than most games released today. I feel like Breath of the Wild is going to follow that exact same concept, which I absolutely love. And while I do want a realistic Zelda game, I'm glad they did this with this game, so it can be timeless. But don't get me wrong, I still want a Twilight Princess realistic looking Zelda game. Even if it becomes outdated in 5 years, I'll take it. I like outdated looking games as well. I can appreciate both concepts. But okay, defeat Ganon, seek out Impa. The adventure finally begins as we have completed the tutorial. I apologize if, you know, I kind of talked over all the cutscenes again. If you're watching this, don't watch it for the story. We're just doing it for the challenge. Hopefully I'll do a story-based Let's Play before the sequel comes out to refresh myself on the game and everything, but I'm excited to see what's in store for the game. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I've been ZeldaMaster. Be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you think of this series and show your support if you want this series to continue, as I'll make sure to stay consistent with it if you guys are interested, of course. I'm really excited to do this, so hopefully you guys are just as excited for it. And overall, just to kind of let's play, as I haven't really sat down and just played a Zelda game talking non-stop over. I know that annoys some people. That's something I've kind of been doing for so long. I enjoy doing it, and I know some of you guys out there enjoy it, so hopefully you do. Anyways, that about does it for this one. Be sure to leave a like if you haven't. Thanks again for watching. My outro is not as quick as it used to be, but I'm working on it, so I'm just gonna let the cold resistance wear off. There we go, and I'll see y'all in the next one of Breath of the Wild Amiibo Only Run, or whatever I'm gonna call it. I'll see you all then. Bye!